Chosen one, if you're watching this right now, know that it's not by chance. There is a reason you found your way here today. God has led you to this moment because what you're about to hear will change the trajectory of your life forever. You have been chosen for something far greater than you can imagine. This message is not just words, it is a divine declaration of transformation, a revelation that will redefine your understanding of wealth, prosperity, and abundance. Right. Now the world may seem like a place full of struggle, scarcity, and uncertainty, but I'm here to tell you that your life is about to shift. From this moment on, your days of financial hardship and toil are over. You are no longer alone in your efforts. God Himself is stepping in to take charge of your wealth. This is a divine guarantee, not a wish, not a hope, but a promise that will unfold in your life. The abundance you've been praying for is on its way, and it's coming not because of your own strength, but because of God's unwavering commitment to you. You see, those who once mocked you for your struggles will soon see the truth. What they once thought was your lack is about to be revealed as your divine richness, and God will be the one to reveal it. The time for your prosperity has arrived. Your season of struggle is coming to a close, and the doors of abundance are opening before you. You are not just destined for wealth, you are destined for a life of overflowing abundance, a life where all your needs are met and more. But before we dive deeper into this powerful transformation, I need you to do something. A small act of faith. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment with the number 99. This number will activate powerful energy in your life and amplify the message of abundance, setting the stage for the blessings that are already on their way. If you are truly a chosen one, you will stay with me until the end because your spirit already knows that this truth is for you. Your heart is aligned with the divine frequency of wealth, and it is time to unlock the door to a life of supernatural provision. Your life is about to change in ways you can't even begin to comprehend. There comes a time in every journey where the struggle stops and the blessings begin. For you, chosen one, that time has arrived. The responsibility of wealth is no longer yours to bear alone. The Creator of the universe, the same God who spoke the stars into existence, has promised you an everlasting flow of abundance. This is not something you will have to chase, but something that will chase you down. Picture a river that never runs dry, no matter how much is drawn from it. That's the nature of God's provision for you. As His chosen one, you are destined to live a life of wealth and abundance. Not because of your own hard work, but because God has vowed to provide for you, to bless you, and to care for you. It's a promise that transcends time, and it is already at work in your life. This divine provision is not just for a moment, but for eternity. Your prosperity will not come from your sweat or hustle. It will come from the unshakable foundation of God's faithfulness. The moment you accepted your divine calling, a shift occurred. You moved from a life of struggle to one of supernatural provision. No longer will you toil endlessly in fear of what tomorrow might bring. You are now walking in the certainty of God's promises, knowing that your needs are already met. You no longer have to live under the constant weight of uncertainty. The struggle is not your portion anymore. What's waiting for you now is divine abundance, wealth that surpasses anything you've ever imagined. As you begin to embrace this truth, you will experience peace that goes beyond understanding. It's not just peace because of the financial blessings you'll receive, but peace knowing that your future is securely in God's hands. This peace will carry you through the rest of your journey as you rest in the knowledge that you are no longer subject to the whims of life. You were chosen for greatness, not because of your strength or your ability, but because of God's perfect will. And now it's time for you to receive what has always been yours. Now that you understand the truth about your divine calling and the abundant life that awaits you, it's time to shift your perspective. The moment you accepted your calling, you moved from a place of striving and struggle into a realm of divine provision. It's time to let go of the old mindset that says you must work tirelessly, fight against the tide, and worry about every outcome. The struggle is no longer your portion. From now on, you will walk in divine confidence, knowing that everything you need will be supplied, not because of your efforts, but because of God's unchanging faithfulness. For far too long, many of us have believed that prosperity only comes through personal effort, through the sweat of our brow, through endless toil. But now you are called to something higher. You are called to trust in God's responsibility to provide for you. This is no longer your burden to carry. When you embrace this truth, something miraculous begins to happen. The weight of uncertainty lifts off your shoulders, and a new confidence settles within you. This confidence is rooted in something far greater than self-reliance. It is rooted in knowing that you are supported by a power greater than yourself. Think about the confidence a child has in knowing that their parents will always take care of them. A child doesn't worry about food, shelter, or safety. Why? Because they know their parents will provide. That same kind of assurance is what you are invited to embrace in this new season of your life. You are stepping into a divine confidence, one that is built on God's faithfulness, His goodness, and His promise to never leave you nor forsake you. This confidence frees you from anxiety and doubt. It means living with the assurance that God is working behind the scenes on your behalf. Even when the path ahead seems uncertain, you can trust that God's plan for you is always perfect and will unfold at the right time. Confidence in divine provision is not about striving to control every aspect of your life. It is about trusting in God's timing and methods. It is about letting go of the need to understand every detail and simply walking in faith. The moment you release your grip on trying to control every outcome is the moment you make space for God to work miracles in your life. His timing is always perfect, and His methods are far beyond what you could ever imagine. Imagine walking through life with the confidence of knowing that your future is already secured in God's hands. When you embrace this confidence, every step you take feels lighter. Every decision is guided by an unshakable assurance that God will provide. The peace that comes with this trust is unlike any other peace you've ever known. It's the kind of peace that lets you sleep soundly at night, knowing that your needs are met and that God is orchestrating every moment of your journey. Think about the last time you faced a major challenge. What did it feel like when God came through for you? When you look back at those moments, you'll see that God's provision was there, even when you couldn't see it in the moment. Every answered prayer, every breakthrough, every miracle you've experienced is a testimony to God's faithfulness. And now, as you step into this new season of abundance, you will see how everything begins to align perfectly in your favor. This is not just about receiving what you need in the moment. It's about knowing that God is a provider who does not run out of resources. His abundance is endless. When you trust in God's provision, you are walking in alignment with a divine flow of resources that will never cease. The more you trust, the more you will receive. Not just enough, but more than enough. You no longer have to live in fear of scarcity. You no longer have to constantly worry about how you will make ends meet. The days of struggle are behind you. From now on, you are walking in the certainty of God's promises, and as you align your heart and mind with His will, you will begin to experience a peace that transcends all understanding. But this peace is not passive. It's not about sitting back and waiting for things to magically appear. It is an active peace, a peace that comes from trusting and obeying. The more you trust in God's provision, the more you will see doors open that you never thought possible. God is the creator of the universe, the one who spoke everything into existence. If he can do that, he can certainly provide for your every need. Your task is simple: trust and obey. The more you release the burden of trying to control your financial future, the more space you create for God to work. This is where the miracles begin. As you step forward in obedience, God will open doors of prosperity that you never could have imagined. Wealth, success, and purpose are all part of the divine plan that God is unfolding in your life. God is not limited by your understanding. His ways are higher than our ways, and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Trust that his plan for you is already in motion, and he is leading you every step of the way. The opportunities that are coming into your life are not random. They are divinely orchestrated, and they are waiting for you to step into them. As you step into this new reality of divine provision, it's essential to understand that wealth is not just about the money you will receive or the material blessings that will come your way. Divine wealth is far greater than that. It touches every area of your life, not just your finances, but your relationships, your health, and your very sense of purpose. True wealth, as God intends, is a holistic experience that overflows into every part of your existence. You're not being blessed just to live a life of luxury or indulgence. The wealth God has set aside for you is meant for something much bigger, to fulfill your divine purpose on earth. Whether that purpose is to help others, to support ministries, to build something that impacts the world, or to create a legacy of love and faith, the abundance you're stepping into is designed to equip you to fulfill that calling. God's plan for your wealth is not just for your enjoyment, it's for his glory. Every blessing that flows into your life is an opportunity to serve others and to expand his kingdom. You are chosen to be a vessel of his goodness, a reflection of his grace. The more you embrace this truth, the more you will see that wealth is a tool for doing good in the world, for touching lives, and for making a lasting impact. It is meant to be shared. When you understand that divine wealth is not just for you, but for others as well, a shift occurs. You no longer see wealth as something to hoard or accumulate. Instead, you begin to view it as something to use for a higher purpose. God is entrusting you with resources, not for your own benefit alone, but to further his will on this earth. As you use your wealth to serve others and to help those in need, you will find that your blessings multiply. The more you give, the more you will receive. This is the divine law of abundance. The more you sow, the more you will reap. Think about how a river flows. A river doesn't hold onto its water, it flows, carrying life to everything in its path. The same is true for you. As God's blessings flow through you, they will carry life to everyone you touch. The impact of your wealth will ripple through your community, your family, and even your future generations. The legacy you create will be one of faithfulness, generosity, and divine purpose. But divine wealth is not just about material blessings. It is about peace, joy, and a sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing that you are walking in alignment with God's will. When you embrace this truth, you begin to experience a peace that goes beyond understanding. It's the kind of peace that allows you to enjoy the abundance in your life without guilt or fear. It's the kind of peace that lets you rest easy at night, knowing that your prosperity is not just for your benefit, but for the benefit of others. As you step into this divine abundance, you will notice how everything in your life starts to align. Relationships will flourish, your health will improve, your sense of purpose will become clearer. When you are aligned with God's plan, every part of your life begins to flow with ease and grace. The struggles of the past will seem like a distant memory as you walk in the fullness of God's provision. This is the power of divine wealth. It doesn't just change your bank account, it changes your entire life. It's about a shift in your mindset, a shift from scarcity to abundance, from lack to overflow. As you embrace the truth that wealth is a tool for fulfilling your divine purpose, you will begin to see opportunities open up that you never thought possible. The world teaches us that success comes from hard work, relentless effort, and competition. But God's kingdom operates on a different principle. It's not about striving or struggling, but about trusting and resting in His provision. The wealth that God has for you is not something you have to chase after. It is something that comes to you naturally as you walk in alignment with His will. You no longer need to exhaust yourself in the pursuit of wealth. When you align with God's plan, wealth will flow effortlessly into your life. This is the beauty of divine abundance. It doesn't require endless effort or struggle. It requires trust. Trust in God's timing. Trust in His provision. Trust that as you walk in obedience, the riches will follow. And let me tell you, these riches are not just for today. The wealth you are stepping into is eternal. It is a wealth that will last for generations to come. As you walk in God's provision, you are creating a legacy of abundance and impact. Your wealth will not just be a temporary experience, but a testimony of God's faithfulness that will carry on long after you're gone. So, embrace this truth fully. Know that the divine wealth you are stepping into is not just about you. It's about fulfilling a higher purpose. It's about serving others, touching lives, and leaving a legacy that will change the world. The more you give, the more you will receive, and the more God will multiply your blessings. As you step into the fullness of God's provision, you begin to realize that everything you need and more is already on its way to you. This is not a future promise. It is a present reality that is unfolding right now. When you live in alignment with God's will, wealth and success become a natural byproduct of His favor. It's not something you chase after, but something that follows you as you walk in obedience. Think of it like this: wealth is not something you struggle to obtain. It's like a river that flows naturally. When you align with the current of God's will, the blessings begin to flow effortlessly. This is the beauty of divine provision. It's not about striving or effort, but about resting in the knowledge that God will provide. His timing is perfect and His provision is abundant, flowing to you in ways you could never have imagined. As you embrace this reality, you will begin to see how everything aligns perfectly in your life. Doors that seemed closed before will suddenly open. Opportunities will appear out of nowhere, and solutions to problems that once seemed insurmountable will present themselves effortlessly. This is the power of living in alignment with God's plan. His provision is not just about meeting your needs, but about exceeding them. The wealth you are stepping into is not just material. It is spiritual, emotional, and relational as well. Divine wealth encompasses every area of your life. Your relationships will flourish because you will be at peace, knowing that everything is taken care of. Your health will improve because you are no longer living under the stress and strain of trying to control every outcome. Your sense of purpose will become clearer because you will be walking in the divine calling that God has set before you. And as you experience this transformation, you will notice how your life begins to reflect the glory of God. People around, you will start to notice the peace and abundance in your life. Your success will become a testimony to others that God is real, that His promises are true, and that He is a provider who always delivers. The more you walk in God's favor, the more your life becomes a beacon of hope and inspiration to those around you. But let me remind you, as you step into this abundance, it's important to stay humble and recognize that it's not by your own efforts that you've come this far. Everything you have is a gift from God. Your wealth, your success, your prosperity, it's all a result of His divine provision. The more you acknowledge this truth, the more you will experience the fullness of God's blessings in your life. It's also important to remember that wealth is not just for your personal enjoyment, but for a higher purpose. As you receive these blessings, it's your responsibility to use them to bless others. Whether it's supporting a cause, helping someone in need, or investing in a project that advances God's kingdom, your wealth is meant to serve a greater purpose. The more you give, the more you will receive, and the more God will multiply your blessings. Your wealth is not just for this lifetime. It's an eternal blessing that will continue to impact generations to come. The legacy you create will be one of faith, abundance, and divine purpose. Your life will be a testimony to the world that God's provision knows no bounds. He has called you to greatness, and now is the time to step into that greatness fully. No longer will you be bound by the limitations of the world. You are free to walk boldly into the future that God has prepared for you. And as you walk in the fullness of God's provision, you will experience a peace that surpasses all understanding. You will be living in a state of divine assurance, knowing that everything you need for success, for joy, for peace is already on its way to you. You no longer have to fear scarcity. You no longer have to worry about the future. God has already provided, and His plans for you are greater than anything you could have imagined. So, as we come to the end of this message, I want you to embrace this truth fully. Step into the abundance that God has prepared for you. Trust in His timing, trust in His provision, and know that He has called you to live a life of fullness and prosperity. Your future is bright, your wealth is assured, and your purpose is unfolding before you. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you to take one final step. If you're ready to embrace this new season of divine abundance, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment below with the number 99. This small act will activate powerful energy in your life, amplifying the flow of blessings and confirming that you are ready to receive all that God has for you. Let's walk into this new season together, knowing that with God, there are no limits to what we can achieve. Your journey to divine abundance starts now. Embrace it fully, knowing that you are chosen for greatness. God's provision is already here, and it's waiting for you to step into it.